welcome everybody to the fourth edition of Sammies and Beer. I am your co-host Matt, and with me, as always,
Hi, everybody. It's Thomas. Nice to see all three of you watching today. Which my mother, Matt's mother, and I don't know everyone's mother.
well, it's not my
Yeah,
mother. But that's a topic for a different day, right there.
that's a drunk conversation topic for sure.
Yeah, that'll be more than a few shots in for me.
Hey, that's okay. It's okay.
So, well, thank you everybody for stopping by. Today we do have an interesting topic we're going to talk about. I don't know why I thought of it. Maybe has something to do with Russia enlisting a draft. Maybe not. Maybe it's the spooky Halloween coming up. But we are going to be talking about the apocalypse.
Ooh, yes, a spooky Halloween.
The first thing my son said to me when I brought up the apocalypse was, "Are you going to be talking about the zombie apocalypse?"
I think we got a hit on it. It's one of the most popular apocalypses.
Obviously. So, but before we get too deep into that, we do like to start our evenings off with a shot, as it is Thirsty Thursday. So, Thomas, the floor is yours.
All right. So I have mine right here. It's of course what it usually is. It's a very nice glass. It's a gift. And this one's going to go out to Mike Leal, my girlfriend's uncle, who's currently recovering from some surgeries. So, cheers to you, Mike. Hope you feel better soon. I'll see you tomorrow.
I'm glad you did actually switch to a shot glass versus a rocks glass that you filled all the way up.
Yeah, that we're keeping ourselves on target now.
Yeah. I mean, because you can always take more.
I can't take less.
Nope. So, I don't even know who I'm going to take my shot to today. Actually, I do. I know who I'm going to take my shot for. I am going to take my shot for my favorite dogs in the world, all golden retrievers out there. We are lucky enough today. We are puppy sitting. Well, he's not a puppy anymore. He's one. But a beautiful golden retriever who is wreaking havoc on my house. But here's to all golden retrievers, as they are the best dogs in the world.
I'll even give you that one. I do love me a good golden. I can't knock you for that. I've never met a golden retriever I don't like.
Exactly.
And then I'll be making my drink using our sponsor today. Just kidding, we're not sponsored ever.
I don't think Squirt sponsors anybody.
They could sponsor us, Squirt. You know.
You know who also doesn't sponsor or advertise, but is just kind of there? Root beer.
Like A&W and like
A&W, Mug. Like,
yeah.
They don't go against each other. They're not competitive like Pepsi and Coke. They just sit back, people buy their shit, and they move on with their lives.
When was the last time you drank root beer?
My kids drink it all the time because
Really?
it's caffeine free.
Oh, that's smart. My dad likes it, so I always get it whenever I see it, I get it for him.
Yeah.
But I have not drank root beer in probably like a decade.
I can tell you the last time we had a root beer, we were going to the Black Hills on a trip, and we stopped at an 1880s town, and they had bottles of root beer. And so all four of us got a bottle of root beer that we drank, and that was probably a year and a half ago.
It's not too bad.
Speaking of end of days.
Hey, buddy. Say hi, Cheeto. Hi. All right. I know. You're not happy. There's the mascot right there. It's Cheeto.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just I've never craved
the apocalypse.
Kind of. He's a piece of shit. I never craved root beer, but we don't have to talk about root beer. First things first. What kind of apocalypse are we talking right now? Because like the most obvious one is zombies.
Was that the most obvious or just the most talked about?
Most talked about, I guess.
Or most easily to glorify. I mean, because realistically, what do you think? Like, what is the most likely apocalypse to happen? I mean, there's a lot of different apocalypses out there. I mean, you had people talking about the Yellowstone volcano,
Yeah.
mega volcano erupting. I mean,
That's
that would
probably.
be. I don't know. I don't know how that stuff works. Climate
Asteroids,
change, asteroids.
which NASA just did that mission.
You know, do
They,
we have an Armageddon situation? Is Bruce Willis going to blow a meteor in half to
I,
avoid hitting the Earth?
I think if you give him the chance, he'll do it.
Oh, I guarantee he would.
He'd sign right up.
You know, are we looking at... I mean, I think a lot of people thought we were getting to the end of the days with the past COVID.
I think so too, and that's most.
I mean,
That's one of the most probable, causes for an apocalypse. It's just a virus that finally just takes us out.
a lab-created virus that spreads everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Super AIDS is a thing.
Well, I mean, nuclear holocaust is probably a pretty close in there too. Especially, like I said,
yeah.
if Russia's gearing up, I mean, and how far off are we from, a Terminator type situation where artificial intelligence and
Yeah.
Age of Ultron, I mean, you never know.
Yeah.
Like, as far-fetched as some of that stuff seemed,
I'm still listening. God damn it, Cheeto. Get the fuck out. Go.
how far-fetched is it really that we create an artificial intelligence that says, hey, you guys are fucking up? Because how many people in this world think that we're fucking up?
It's only
almost every fucking single one of them.
It's only far-fetched until it happens, essentially. I mean,
Yeah.
a situation like COVID was far-fetched, and then it happened.
Yeah.
Russia going to war to Ukraine was far-fetched, and
Yeah.
so it's just it is what it is. I think personally, the thing that's going to take us out is nuclear war. I'm hoping zombies. I'm hoping.
I think zombies is the least likely to happen.
Yeah, it seems a bit like of a stretch.
Yeah.
I'd still like it. And the big question is, for me to you, is how likely do you think you are to survive in an apocalypse situation?
Well, that would depend on the type of situation that we're talking about.
That's fair.
Obviously, the Yellowstone exploding, I'm not too far from Yellowstone, so that one might make it a little bit more difficult. Or if an asteroid lands on my head, probably odds are pretty slim. But at the exact same time, that is one of the benefits of being where I live, is there is not a huge population here. So there's a lot less mouths to feed. Let's say it was a global pandemic and supply lines just shut down. I have a lot more ability to be able to go out and hunt, find spaces, get what I need to be able to provide for me and my family. More than you're competing with millions of people.
Oh yeah, no.
Multiple millions of people.
First line of thought for my scenario is to get as far out of where I'm at as possible, as soon as possible.
Yeah. But how far out is far enough? I mean, and which direction are you heading? Are you going north or south?
Not south. Not south. I'm not going to Mexico. But north? I'd probably go north. I'd probably go to the Midwest.
Whereabouts in the Midwest?
I'd just go straight up.
Because I've found, and I find this really weird, but if you talk to people from Illinois, they consider themselves the Midwest.
That is weird.
And to me, I'm like, that you're not the Midwest.
It's the Great White North.
You're East, maybe the Middle East. But then you can't use Middle East.
I don't think you could call them the Middle East.
But that's what they are, though. They're not the Midwest.
Okay. So let's think. Okay, here's a good one based off of what Egg just said. Is World War III can be considered an apocalypse? Now that would be insane. Like a Wolverine Red Dawn style scenario.
Yeah.
And also, the biggest worry about an apocalypse situation is taking care of your family.
Yeah, I mean, that's yeah. I mean, obviously, I mean, we've all seen the movie The Wolverines, and if you haven't, definitely go watch both of them because they're both
They're
awesome.
both really good.
I might actually do that tonight now.
Go to bed, Wolverines.
Not go to bed and just watch them both.
Oh God.
But, you've got families to think about. So, let's say something happens. Well, obviously, you're in a different situation. So, let's pretend that I'm trying not to give away things, but I want to say this the right way. But let's say that you're not in the field that you're in, or let's say the military's gone. Like,
Mm-hmm.
you go to check in, bases are gone, everybody's gone. Something's happened. Let's not even get into what the something that's happened.
Okay.
But how many people are you taking with you? I mean, I know you live with family. Are you taking that family with you? Is it you and your girlfriend? I mean, let's say right now phones go down. You have no communication with anybody. You can't get a hold of anybody. You can't text somebody. You can't call somebody. They have to be, you either have to go get them. Who are you getting?
So, and I can't give away specifics, but my girlfriend is actually really into this conversation topic, and so is her father.
Okay, so they're preppers.
They are preppers, and it's written and it's in my go bag in my notebook on the third page, and it's like where to go in case like we need to run away, and it's a place in the middle of nowhere with plenty of wild resources that's been set up. It doesn't really have electricity. Doesn't even have plumbing. I don't think either, but it's gettable to, and that is our meet spot. I told her because I would have to check in that she should just go because her dad and her brother are going to keep her safe, right? I'm going to get her there. And so my priority after I check in is like, okay, would be to get my family and go get my sister, which is on the way, which would be the hardest part of all of that.
So you have a go bag.
I have a go bag for my job. It
Okay.
just, it doubles as the same thing.
Does it?
It does.
Because I actually wrote this down, and I want to hear. So, you've got shit hits the fan right now. You've got to go.
Yep.
You are able to grab 5 things from your house.
Does my go bag count?
Yeah, your go bag can be one of the things.
Okay. God, I really wish I could say my cat, but I'm definitely going to leave him behind. I'm going to leave the door open, so he can make his way. My go bag, my hunting rifle.
I mean, and you can say, like, if you wanted to say, like, guns. Like, if you have
Okay,
one,
a
you don't have
general.
to be specific. But, like, if you say your go bag, like, what's in your go bag? I mean, is it just
So I have a survival kit, a full med kit, clothes, and in my survival kit,
but what kind of clothes? Because that's important.
that's uniform items.
Okay. See, now is that going to help or hinder you
Help, for sure.
having uniforms?
I think it would help just because of the way the uniform was designed
Okay.
to survive situations that kind of place yourself
So
in.
we're not talking dress uniforms. We're talking
No. Yeah.
in the field uniforms.
Yeah,
Okay.
which is what the go bag exists for.
Okay. And I honestly don't know, so that's why I'm asking.
It has my iPad, which is, I wish it was like a paper copy, but it has my iPad, which has all of my medical training condensed into one little spot, which is really nice. I mean, if we could get a
As
charge
you've
for
got
it,
electricity to keep it charged.
I'll put hamsters on a wheel. You know what I mean? And my go bag, yeah, it's pretty up and up, and it's a green backpack, it's like a hiking backpack. It's pretty big.
Yep.
And it's like, if they're like, hey, we're going on with Russia, you have to be here 2 hours. It's all right. Well, gone.
Gotcha.
Um,
Okay, so your
and
go bag,
guns,
defense, guns,
non-perishable food,
Okay.
Because I have quite a bit of that. I have, I don't know if you were there for the other night, but I have literally a case of ravioli.
A case of ravioli.
Costco was
Yeah.
selling it for $12 for 24 ravioli cans.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
Oh, that kind of ravioli.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
thinking like actual noodles, not
No.
fucking Chef Boyardee.
Chef Boyardee, baby.
That's a lot of weight.
Eat it cold.
That's a lot of weight.
Yeah, I've done it. Oh. A vehicle, if you have to count that.
No, I wouldn't say a vehicle would be counted. I'm just talking things that like you're gonna grab to put in your vehicle and go. Food, go bag, which is most of my stuff, firearms. I'm trying to think, honestly, now. Shit. Look, I'm looking around my room. Oh, my dog. I would take Maggie. Yeah. I mean, I don't think a dog's a bad decision.
No. I'd let Kilo loose. Let him run. Good luck, Kilo.
Kilo's the new dog, right?
Yeah, that we're watching for my sister's boyfriend.
Yes.
Goodbye, Kilo. Do I have to grab ammo on top of the firearms?
No, I wouldn't say. I mean, you would assume that if you're grabbing guns, you're going to grab the ammo.
Okay.
I mean, even if you keep them in separate spots, they're still going to be...
Huh. As far as keeping things light, I mean, I kind of stuck at 4. I can't really justify anything else. Oh, no, excuse me, I'm sorry. My booze.
Booze?
Booze.
Okay.
For several different reasons, but booze is on the list. So
we don't want to grab fresh water?
I have iodine tablets. Be all right.
Okay.
Actually, speaking of that, you get a bottle of unscented bleach, use that for a while.
You want to bleach your water?
Yeah, you can drink your water, and I've done it. You can drink your water if there's a very small amount of bleach, and the bleach kills everything in it.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm. Tastes like shit. But what would you grab?
Imagine. Well, I don't have a go bag, so
You should.
probably. But I mean, I struggle. I struggle with the fact of, what do you... I'm buying stuff that's going to sit in a bag forever and more than likely never be used.
And until you need to use it,
Yeah. No, you're right. So obviously, first choice, I'm going to grab my guns.
And not even just for self-defense. It's hunting.
No. Yeah, it's hunting. I mean, and, it's tradability.
Mm-hmm.
There's
true.
Because you never know what you're going to need. And
in the apocalypse, I might suck a dick for a 1911.
well, fair enough.
Also, to answer Egg's question, she asked, would we bring gasoline for your vehicle? I don't have gasoline laying around, so that's why I didn't say something like that. It's not something that I would...
No, I think I would have an easy enough time siphoning gas from the gas stations. Like, they don't lock that shit up, especially around where I'm at. Like, you can go... You see where the pumps go down. I watch the guys unscrew the thing and put gas in, and pull it out. So I don't think it would be an issue to get gas.
Yeah. Less populated areas specifically, though, but because I wouldn't be able to get in the city.
Yeah.
God, I wouldn't even try and go to my grandparents. It's just, it's been an honor.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I would definitely bring, obviously I have a surplus of food, and I've actually got some long-term foods buckets.
You've got a lot of pickles, too.
I've got a lot of pickles, so I've got plenty of food. I do have an axe that I would bring.
Mm.
I feel like that would be an enormous help.
It's a boon, although I recommend a good survival knife before an axe, I will say.
Yeah, I don't have a good survival knife. I have an axe.
I don't know what to get you for Christmas, I think, now.
There you go. Um, yeah, my wife was like, "That we should buy one of those shovels that Gabe had when we were down in the Ozarks." And I was like, I think there's better stuff than those little shovels.
Those things aren't actually very good at all.
Yeah. So I've got guns, got food, got an axe. I'm gonna bring my dogs. I have two, so I mean,
As you should.
they're gonna be there, and they're gonna be worth it because they're big dogs, and as though they are not intimidating, they look intimidating.
Also, just like an alarm system, if you're trying to sleep somewhere in the middle of nowhere,
Yeah.
they're going to let you know if someone's nearby.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. And they're smart enough to keep around. They're not going to take off either.
Exactly.
Fifth and final thing that I would bring, I'd have to bring a med kit of some kind because I don't have a bag like that. No, I take that back. I would have to bring warm clothes for everybody because I live in a northern part of the country, and making sure that we can stay warm during the winter is going to be it's going to be a challenge for us, but it's also going to be a huge blessing for us because that is going to help us in the long run.
I agree. I don't have to worry about that. The coldest it gets down here is in the 40s. You have a decent enough fire going through the night, you're good in a windbreaker and some blankets. I should have brought blankets.
February around here, it can get negative 30.
Yeah, no. And, I would want to make my way up there, and that goes into scavenging and doing stuff like that, rebuilding society. But a question on the same thought process, right? Say something happened, you're separated from your family, literally magic, but you're plopped in the woods, and you need to survive. Do you think you could do it?
Where in the woods?
Let's go Washington. Middle of, rural Washington in, actual woodland area.
What do I have to start with?
You've got a knife, you've got matches, and you've got about 3 days worth of freeze-dried food, like MRE's kind of food, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you've got one tarp.
I want to say yes, but just a knife is that's gonna be tough. That's that's a huge struggle because 3 days worth of food isn't much.
It's nothing.
I think fishing is a great source of food, especially it's probably the easiest way to get food.
It is. Without
guns and things like that. But if you don't have fishing line, you don't have a way to catch fish, you don't have nets.
Well, there are ways to catch fish without any of those things. Specifically, you go to a stream and you make a trap out of thread that you make with the bramble, and then you use stick
traps and stuff like that. Yep, I've seen plenty of those, but that's going to be. It's going to be tough.
The hardest part is water.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And especially being just stuck out there in the middle of nowhere. Had it happened before I've watched some of the survival shows, I would have been like, oh yeah, I'd be fine. But I watch some of these survival shows and you watch experts struggle.
Yeah, no, it's not easy.
That's what they do day in and day out.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a different level when you do that stuff. I would actually like to try doing something like that.
Do you?
I would.
Gabe and I will. I've done it several times. I've done it for training and I've done it for fun.
Yeah.
So it completely changes your priorities as a human being for a while afterwards.
Oh, I bet.
I'd be more than happy to do that with you. I know Gabe would too.
So,
and of course, just a prerequisite there. I'm no expert. I've had training. That doesn't mean I'm awesome. Do I think I could survive? I think I could survive a decent amount of time. Maybe 2 months if I'm in a really good spot with some really good equipment. But after that, I mean,
Well, and the hard part is like you have to think about it. Like you're not like if we're talking end of days, like survive, just going out into the woods and surviving is one thing, but if we're talking like apocalypse type scenarios, you are going to have a lot of scavenging options. You're going to be, like if I'm stuck where I'm at, there's cattle everywhere. I can just fucking shoot a cow.
you could, especially in the winter.
Yeah.
You got a built-in freezer.
Well, and it's not that hard to dig a fucking hole.
Mm-hmm.
Put stuff underground. Smoke meat. I know how to build. I mean, I could build a smoker pretty quick. Especially with the proper tools.
I think it comes in line to a team, most of all.
Yeah.
It's like an anime. The key to surviving an apocalypse is teamwork.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. What do you... Well, this is an easy question for you to answer, but what do you think your greatest strength in an apocalypse would be?
Absolutely, my medical knowledge and military training, 100%. But if we were excluding those two things, it would actually... No, that was military trained too. I'm trying to think of a benefit that wasn't military trained. What's yours? Well, I think of mine. What's yours? Your biggest strength?
I would mine is not I'm not specific in one area. I have a lot of knowledge about I have a little knowledge about a lot of areas. Like I'm not going to go out and I'm not going to be the best hunter, but I can shoot. I can skin a deer. I can prepare the meat. I know how to boil water. I might, like I said, I'm not going to be the best at it, but I can do it.
That's what matters.
Same with farming. I can plant crops. I can do that kind of stuff. I think that's going to be I'm rounded in a lot of areas. That's one of the things that some people professional athletes, they're 100% focused on one thing and they become the best at that one thing. Or writers are the best at, Stephen King. He focuses his life around that. I don't have that one thing. So I just study a little bit in a lot of areas and I have just a little knowledge in a lot of areas. And I think that would be my greatest strength.
I'd say that's a really good strength. Well thought out too.
So
the one now I will say this is my biggest strength, and the only reason I discovered it was because of military training. But I think it holds true is that I have realized how far I will go before I quit, and I haven't even hit that point. I haven't even hit near that point yet, and I went through some shit. So I think that is a big point for me. Is I'm going to figure it out, or I'm going to die trying. I'm not going to give up, and I feel like that matters in those kind of situations.
Yeah, I'd 100% agree. I have two things that make me not be able to give up. So
yep, that's fair. That's a good, that's a good thing,
Oh yeah, for sure.
Everyone holds on to. Also, if we get into that situation and say it's all of our friends, right, and their significant others, we're in this little commune we've made. I would 100% have your wife be master of arms, expert hunter. She can outshoot all of us, with no issues.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, know your strengths. Fucking go for it, lady.
But it's I don't know. It's different. I mean, you've been out hunting and shot. Have you shot a deer before?
Oh yeah.
And I know you've shot other things that are living. So it's different shooting something with a heartbeat versus a target as well.
It's true.
It's very, very different.
But I think in this situation, she's either I get this or nobody eats. I think she's gonna pull through for us.
I think so too. I have the utmost confidence in her and my wife, but some people aren't like that. Some people don't have that switch.
Oh yeah.
And some people, There's a reason half the population's going to die in an apocalypse.
Oh, more than half, dude. It's like 70. You know? It's like 90%. It's a big bunch.
Yep.
Done.
And it's weird because like you think about it, like 70% in an apocalypse are going to die. Like I guarantee you that of that 70%, there's only about 10% of them that are like, oh yeah, I'm the one that's going to die.
That's fair.
Like
everyone thinks they're going to make it.
The other 60% think that they're going to be the one. Like, oh yeah, I got this fucking shit. I've lived in New York City for the last 50 years. I know how to talk to people and fight people. And it's like, I've never, you know.
That's not going to
work. But those people think that they do. They think that they can. You know.
Good. Let them go out gung ho and die.
Yeah.
So it's not a worry. The only big thing is like I'm gonna have kids. You're gonna have kids. Gabe's gonna be forever single, right?
I'm not gonna have kids. I have kids.
Oh, you have kids.
We're not having anymore.
I'm gonna have kids, and so like the commune's gonna grow because I assume that my kids are most likely gonna reproduce with your kids. But then after that, we've got to go find some new blood.
Yeah.
That's a big thing. That's a big issue. Because that's it. That's all we got.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think there'll be, like I said, depending on the type of apocalypse that happens.
True.
You know, it's with 7 billion people on this earth. I mean, even if you say 70% die, that's still a lot of fucking people left.
It is.
You know. So.
And if a guy rolls up to our camp speaking Russian, well, you know what's going to happen. Or Korean.
I don't. What's going to happen?
They're going to die.
Please. Oh, okay.
Just 10.
What do you think the scariest part of the apocalypse is going to be?
The first 24 hours.
Do you think you're really going to know what's going on in the first 24 hours?
Like, that's exactly why. Like, you could just die at any point. Until you get settled, like maybe the first 2 weeks, until you get to where you need to go and you get settled and you start building things up, anything can happen and you can just die.
But what about like after that 2 weeks when then you're trying to set things up and you've got things set up, but now you've got people that want to come and take it.
And at that point, that's something that's more within my control, right? So there's this big broad thing that's happening that I have absolutely zero control over besides running away. I've made it. Here's people trying to take what I have. Well, I'm going to fight till I die. And at that point, it's like either I die or we win. Like, either it's suddenly not my fucking problem anymore or we win.
Okay. So basically your biggest fear of it would be just the unknown part of getting settled after the first few days.
Oh yeah, 100%. Because it's just the part where you are just most likely to keel over. A zombie hiding in a fucking gas station underneath the pump that just bites your leg. Well, you're done.
Yeah. I tell you what, that's one of the biggest things I hate about fucking zombie shows. The Walking Dead, I absolutely love that show. But there would be times they would be in a town and a zombie would be fucking on the other side of town and they'd be like, oh, I think the zombies are coming. And you'd see this motherfucker dragging his foot and slowly walking and making the sounds. The very next scene, they're deep in the woods running through things and like just no zombies around. And all of a sudden a zombie sneaks up on somebody and just fucking bites him in the neck. And I'm like, how is this? What the fuck?
Exactly.
Who brought this out? Like, when did they become fucking ninja zombies?
It's a zombie. You're going to hear them like half a click away.
Like, they're moaning and fucking doing all this other shit. Like, come on.
I completely agree. It's so dumb. But, I mean, when you're sleeping, I don't, anything can happen. And that's why it's just like, set it up as best you can. Egg again talked about, like, in this commune, would people have jobs based on experience, like job experiences? Absolutely. Egg, you would be there. I don't know what you would do, but you would be there. We love you.
I think she would do what her special ability in D&D would be.
Being a whore?
No.
I'm okay. I'm going to pass. Try to recover from that one.
No, I'm looking. I have a list of things that I wanted to bring up on it.
Oh, perfect. I definitely think like building a commune, whatever, we should be based off experience. You said you can grow plants. Guess what? I can't fucking do at all. Like nothing. I tried to. I had a succulent. It died.
Ooh, that's what I should have brought in my 5 things. Is I actually have a bag of seeds.
Ooh, yeah.
And those, that's gonna be. You can throw saw blades real well. If we have saw blades, I mean, I think that okay. I guess
That's a weird skill to have. I'd rather use the saw blades to like get firewood, but whatever.
Yeah.
I'll give you a box of CDs. How does that sound? There you go.
You're a modern fucking Gambit. Instead of throwing playing cards, you throw fucking used CDs.
She saves Buck Wild or what? No, what's that band? Just a Nickelback. She saves Nickelback for the end. It's my finisher. Oh yeah.
So, once you're settled, what do you think is going to be worth the most in an apocalypse? Like,
and what do you mean
obviously
by that?
obviously there's people that are saving silver as currency, because obviously you're gonna have to trade. You're gonna have to, at some point. There's things that are valuable, and there's things that are gonna be worthless. Like our computers. Our computers are fucking junk at that point.
Yep, fair.
I wouldn't even. I mean, they're not even worth picking up.
That's fair,
Screens,
unless
TVs, tablets,
unless
all that stuff is junk.
Unless, now hear me out. Everyone grabs their Xboxes at a minimum, a couple controllers. We figure out how to get power. Xbox LAN parties, baby.
Yeah, that's maybe the dream. But at the exact same time, if you're making it that long and you can get this shit figured out, like, you can go into town and fucking find an Xbox.
It's true. It's fair.
And set up a LAN party. And you can go to fucking any used CD store and find 19 copies of Halo.
God, we'd never get to see what happened to Master Chief.
So, I mean, but so what's going to be the currency? Are bullets?
I think it's
worth the most. Is silver?
I think it's going to go back to the bartering system. I don't think we're going to go for jewelry or silver or gold or anything like that for a while. For like hundreds of years. If we get reset back that much, it's going to be food. It's going to be tools. It's going to be raw resources. Also, one of the best tools to have in this kind of situation is a pair of bolt cutters.
But aren't you going to be able to readily get that stuff after 2 weeks?
Are you?
I mean, because more than likely, like I said, the apocalypse is not going to be zombie. So if it's mass sickness or a nuclear explosion or, something along those lines, you're going to be able to go back into major cities at some point.
So the thought process is too, let's say how many people, something happens and they run out of their house because something's happening, right? And it's like this stay-at-home dad while his wife's working. He went to go run to the school to get his kids and he dies, right?
Yep.
But he left his oven on. How many other motherfuckers would have done that? In all the other major cities, towns, everything. How much is actually gonna be left to little things like that? Circuit breaks going, fires starting because someone lit a candle when they were taking a bath and that started a fire and that spread. How much is actually gonna be left?
I don't think it's going to be as much as you think it is.
Probably not.
I mean, is it going to happen? Yeah, probably. But, I think you're looking more of people starting fires, people burning other people's house down, people being fucking stupid, because let's be honest, people are stupid.
People are stupid.
You know, they're like, oh, it's end of days. I fucking hate Bill, my neighbor, so I'm going to go burn his fucking house down because nobody can do anything about it.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, it's one of those we'll just have to wait and see, man.
Yeah. Yeah, we will.
Or also if it's just an asteroid, then it doesn't matter.
Well, but let's say the asteroid hits, let's just say for sake of argument, it hits in central Russia, where it's not going to actually affect us, but it's also going to shut everything down. It's affecting China, so it's shutting supply lines down.
Okay.
It shuts down oil. It shuts down, it takes out, let's say it takes out basically the other part of the world. We're talking everybody's gone except for North and South America.
Okay. Damn.
How long can they keep function? How long can we keep functioning?
That's a good book idea, by the way. I'm gonna write that one up. It's be a good short story. We would function, but a lot of us would have to die to make it happen.
Would we?
I think so. I think to cut because it's just basic supplies right now, and then we have enough land to make it work long term. A lot of untapped land.
Why do people have to die?
Not enough resources, I think.
What resources do we not have enough of?
So, what do we get? We get food from China, don't we?
I'm sure we do, but what are we getting from China that we can't have ourselves?
Well, I mean, in the short term, food.
But what?
Right.
Food?
Like grain. No. Well, maybe we will be fine. I don't know. I actually don't know. Now that you're putting it out there. I think we'd take over South America, though. Say everything works out just fine. Like, we can support ourselves as a nation. Let's fucking take everything. Who do we got to go against? Canada?
Is Mexico putting up a fight?
No.
I mean, how big of an army does Mexico have?
Not big. It's more. I think they have more cartels than they do an army.
Yeah. I mean, that's going to be the biggest thing that we're going to have to take out. And, I mean, if we take them out, are we even really worried about it?
Not really.
You know?
At that point, we could honestly take over the world. It's as long as Russia and China are gone. And England.
Yeah.
England's America's #1 enemy. Remember that. Never forget.
England?
England's America's first true enemy.
No.
Mm-hmm.
England became America's bitch in 1776, and nobody's gave a fuck about him since then.
No, England was still doing good until World War II, when they got their cheeks clapped, and they have yet to recover from it.
By fucking tiny little Germany.
A lot of people got their cheeks clapped by
Russia
Germany.
did.
Yeah.
Russia definitely did.
We had to come in, save everybody. I know. No big deal.
Was it us, or was it the English that created the code to break the Russian...
Well, according to J.R.R. Tolkien, it was us.
There's a movie you should watch.
Is there?
I believe it's called The Enigma.
That sounds familiar. Is it the Slammin' Salmon?
No, but you definitely need to watch that. That's such a fucking good movie. God, I love that movie. The fact that you haven't watched it yet, and we've been friends for 2 years, is infuriating to me. Because you're going to watch it, and you're going to be like, oh my god, I should have watched that sooner. And I'm going to be like, fuck you.
Well, I'm going to be bored. I'm going to be bored this weekend, so I might actually watch it this weekend.
It's such, it is laugh out loud, funny comedy. I cannot say enough good things about that movie. Did you like Super Troopers?
Yeah.
Did you like Beer Fest?
I loved Beer Fest. I still watch it all the time.
It's the same people, but add Michael Clark Douglas as a comedian in it.
You mean Michael Clark Duncan?
Duncan, yes.
Rest in peace.
Yes. I'll take a shot to him.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. All right. I've been doing it. I've been doing them anyway since I've been
I know.
paying attention.
I've been trying to keep up, but while not getting blacked out drunk.
Oh no, Matt. So they're half and halves. Look.
Oh, mine are full.
No, they're to keep me on the straight and narrow essentially. So maybe 3 total, 3.5 now. Very little sorts. Just so I can give you like good conversation, you know. I really want to put forth the effort for this, and it's an interesting topic. Like I really like talking about it. But if you're serious about doing a little survival foray, we could do a few days in the woods and see how you do. I don't mind.
I'd be down.
The best thing you can.
Works out well because I have a bunch of PTO and my wife doesn't have as much, so I have a bunch of days that I need to burn.
It would be fun. We'd have to find a middle ground area to do it that would let us bushcraft, but it would be a lot of fun. I like doing it. You're not going to like it the first time you do it. I'll just tell you that right now.
No, I wouldn't imagine I would. I mean, who likes being hungry and tired?
Exactly.
You know? Half of my life, not even half, most of my life is spent avoiding being hungry and tired.
Yep.
Like, that's what we do in modern society.
Yep. And I can honestly say, though, you don't know who you are until you are hungry, tired, and there's not a goddamn thing you can do about it.
Yeah. Well, there is.
Not at night, there's not.
Oh.
You need light. I mean...
Yeah.
Pro hack, life hack, for all you guys out there, winter's coming. If you ingest a lot of protein before you go to sleep, your metabolism and your metabolic rate will heighten, keeping your body warm, increasing your temperature, your internal body temperature, allowing you to stay warmer in colder climates.
So despite what everybody says about not eating before I go to bed, I should eat before I go to bed.
If you get cold in the middle of the night, Matt, in a survival scenario.
I don't.
When I go camping, I make sure to eat protein before I go to sleep. Just, a little protein snack, like 30 grams of protein. Boom.
Just 30 grams of protein?
I eat a lot of protein.
It's like 30% of my daily intake that I need. Just a little snack of it.
Really? I think I eat like 4 times my daily percentage of protein every day.
How much protein do you think you eat in a day?
A lot.
Like, I think you probably should be eating, what, about 200 grams of protein a day?
Probably.
Not grams.
So let me run you through a day of the protein. 3 eggs and either hash browns or bacon for breakfast. Then for lunch, I usually have a chicken breast and a half mixed with something, whether it's a wrap, whether it's in soup, whatever, or a hamburger helper with ground beef, something, or whatever I had for dinner the last day. And then for dinner, I usually have a very hefty size of protein, very hefty size of vegetable, and very small amount of grains.
Maybe.
I've done that since I was a kid.
Yeah.
I just like it. I like to eat meat. That's just.
Oh yeah, I'm a meat and potatoes guy all the way. So like, I'm gonna be good in the apocalypse because I can grow potatoes.
I
know where to find meat.
Mr. Farm Expert, what plants would we be growing primarily?
Well, that depends on the years. Because the first year is going to be the most difficult. So you're going to want to go with the plants that produce the most with the least amount of effort.
Oh, I'm going to have to eat corn, aren't I?
Corn? Corn's okay.
I hate corn.
And then you're also going to probably want to eat plant food that you can pickle or can to save over the winter. So,
okay.
Green beans would probably be a really big one.
Oh,
I'd probably do a ton of green beans. Carrots. Potatoes. Potatoes are they're not a difficult plant to grow, especially if, in a apocalypse type situation, you're not going to have a ton of issues with growing them, in my opinion.
Okay.
I have stuff for, like peppers, all sorts of different peppers, which I think would be good just to
break the
some vitamins
monotony.
and stuff in you.
That too.
You know, I think the biggest thing that you're going to really struggle for in the apocalypse is going to be fruit. Fruits, especially fresh fruit.
I can't remember the last time I ate a fruit, Matt.
Well, that's okay.
I think I had,
but I'm allergic, so.
I think I had a pineapple in 2012. It's been a long time. Yeah.
I remember the last time I ate fruit was probably about 3 years ago, and we bought a watermelon, and my wife asked me to cut it up, so I'm sitting there cutting up the watermelon, and I have a severe pollen allergy when I eat it, and so I was cutting up this watermelon, and as I'm cutting it up, I'm like, oh well, I haven't tried this in a while. Maybe it's gotten better. So I popped a couple pieces of watermelon in, and it was delicious. And then I started getting hives in my mouth and throat, and they started getting itchy, and I'm like,
shit.
oh, sweet, I'm not eating fucking watermelon anymore. Which is weird because it's 90% fucking water.
Doesn't matter. And you got to remember, every time you eat a fruit, it's gonna get worse.
Yeah.
Shit.
So that's how I'm gonna die in the apocalypse, is eating fucking fruit and not having an EpiPen.
I'm gonna let a lot of melons grow mold. Is what I'm gonna do in the apocalypse.
A lot of melons grow mold.
Mm-hmm. That's where the first antibiotic came from.
Fair enough.
Gonna have to do something.
I think there's going to be enough medicine to last for a lot of years.
They expire.
Yeah. Do they actually expire, or do the companies say they expire
No.
so they can keep you to fucking keep buying stuff?
So they expire, but their like potency goes down. It's not
Yeah.
like it expires and it's like milk. It's done. It's just it gets
Exactly.
less and less effective. Also, Egg
Does
brought
it
up a
really
good
though?
point. We should just fucking rob a Walgreens.
Yeah. I mean, that's good. I mean, obviously, looting is going to be a huge part.
Oh
of the
yeah,
apocalypse.
it's not looting anymore. It's scavenging.
It's still looting. Like, that's like saying while I'm looting, if I shoot somebody, it's self-defense. Like, no, you're still fucking fighting people, but it's survival at that point, so it doesn't matter.
At that point, I mean, honestly, it's a them or us kind of situation. It doesn't fucking matter to me.
You know?
Yeah. Do what I need to do.
I mean,
I guess the gays would die out, though.
why?
Because now hear me out. I think there's a genetic proponent to being gay. I don't think it's a bad thing. I love my gays. I love you all. Mwah. But I don't know. Being gay seems like it's definitely like you're gay, like it's not a choice. But it definitely you didn't hear about it that much from back in the day. At least I don't think you did when people were surviving, because it's just like whatever. So I don't know. If Egg and a girl fell in love in the apocalypse, they wouldn't have any kids.
If Egg and a girl fall in love now, and they're not going to have kids. Like,
Well,
the
she could
apocalypse
adopt.
has nothing to fucking do with that.
She could adopt. So like it
They're
continues
still
things
not
on.
having kids, and just because they adopt doesn't mean that they're having a gay kid.
Huh. Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. And also, Egg.
I
People.
don't think that's why gay people adopt, is so
People-
they can make more gay people.
People. Okay, Egg. First of all, Egg. People didn't get killed for being gay in Greece and Rome, so it's just because of religion. That's why the gays get prosecuted.
Well, they didn't in Greece and Rome, because Greece and Rome got to the height of their societies, and I mean, it's 100% true what they say. Strong men create good times. Good times create weak men. Weak men create tough times. Tough times create strong men.
It's fair. Where are we in that cycle? Because I'm pretty sure we're at good times.
We're at good times, and I think we're creating a lot of weak men.
I completely agree.
Like, and you know, it's weird because I always feel like an old timer.
You are.
Like, you know, well, no, but what I'm saying is like, I think every generation's like, well, back in my day, you know, things used to be done this way, or things were different, or, you know, kids weren't, I mean, the generation before me went through a lot of different shit, and they probably did a lot crazier shit. And the generation after me went different, and then, like, your generation, I mean, like, I'd never worried about somebody fucking recording me doing something fucking stupid.
It's awful.
Like, I didn't have to watch every word I said because I was worried about somebody recording me.
Yes. Now, I grew up in the in-between, so for a lot of my life, I didn't have to worry until I was like a young adult, like 17. Then it became a concern.
So, let me ask you something on that. Do you think that there used to be as many Karens as they are now?
I think there used to be more.
You think there used to be more?
Oh my god, yeah. It used to be a badge of pride for like, oh yeah, I got a free dinner today because I complained, you know. Now if you do that...
I'm not talking about complaining. I'm talking about Karens that are just blatantly fucking crazy.
Ah, yes. Again, probably more. You have never met an accurate military spouse, I don't think, because that is... Whoo, that's a whole other level of Karen, you know. Do you know who my husband is? It's like a Draco Malfoy, but they're sucking dick for it, you know. Well, I mean, he could have, but it's bad. Growing up on a military installation and being my dad was Air Force, and like you just had these pilot wives, and they were just out of line constantly, right? They would talk down to my mom because her husband was a senior NCO. He was an NCO. He was enlisted. He was trash, right? And then I will say we had a colonel's wife, and I won't say her name, but she was literally the shit. She was like Mama Bear or the Queen Bee to all these little bees because her husband was the base commander, right? He was in charge of everything, and she would sit these bitches down, and she'd chew them out, and she'd chew their husbands out, and they couldn't say shit because her husband is, you know, up here. So it's like the correct abuse of power versus the wrong abuse of power.
Have you ever thought about how actually fucked up it is with what a lot of those like people that we label as Karens or Kyles do?
It's actually Kevin.
Kevin, Kyle, whatever you want to call him. But have you ever thought about, like, I've never been in a situation so much to where I was like, I'm going to go yell at the person at the other end of this. Like for instance, last week, my wife was out of town, and it was Thursday night. Both kids had football practice. I didn't want to cook supper. We had football practice from 5:30 to 7, and I'm like, hey, we're going to go get something to eat. Where do you guys want to go? I give my kids tons of options, and of course we all know what they fucking chose. I bet you can guess right now. My kids had one option to go out to eat, and where does every kid in the United States of America want to go to eat?
My nephews want to go eat here all the time. It's McDonald's.
Of course.
Every time.
Of course it's McDonald's. Every fucking time. And I don't understand why. I gave them Five Guys. I was like, we can go get Panda Express.
Well, hold on. That's illegal.
Chick-fil-A. What's illegal?
Five Guys.
Why?
I don't think you got the joke.
No, I was talking about my son, so probably not.
Probably not. I get that.
Appreciate you.
Yeah.
But, so we go to McDonald's. We order food, pull up, pay, pull up to the window, get our drinks, and they're like, yep, I'm going to need you to pull ahead to the line. I'm like, all right, fine, whatever. We didn't have that much food, but okay. We pull up, we wait. Somebody pulls up behind us, they wait. I'm a pretty patient person when it comes to this stuff. I understand this person's making 10, 15 bucks an hour. They're not in their dream job.
It's pretty good, though. $15 an hour.
Is it?
Yeah.
I mean, there's just a lot of stigmata. And I think you could have a good job if that's what you enjoy. Like, there's people that enjoy just talking to people. I mean, I can't... I'm not saying it's not hard because, there's going to take some concentration and some work
Oh
behind
yeah,
it.
it's still work. It's work.
It's a job. Everybody, and I mean, you get to meet people that are like, oh my God, I fucking absolutely love my job. But I wait about 15 minutes. I see the guy behind me. He goes inside, comes out with his food, backs out, and leaves. I waited for a half a fucking hour. And
I wouldn't have waited that long. Yeah,
I'm patient. I'm like, hey, I get it. You know, maybe somebody called in sick. Maybe a couple people called in sick. Again, there are people that are working at McDonald's. It's not, you know, it is what it is. I mean, there's a reason. There's a reason for everything. So I finally walk in, go up to the counter. People kind of look at me. There's a gal working drive-through, and they just kind of look at me. I'm like, you just not even gonna fucking walk over here? So then I go stand in front of the registers. Finally, a guy walks over, and I'm like, hey, I think I got forgotten in the drive-through. He's like, oh, do you have your receipt? Hand him my receipt. He walks back. I can tell he goes back to the kitchen, tells them to remake everything, gets everything remade, and comes walking back out. Lightly under his breath, he's like, yeah, sorry about that. That's it. And not at one point did I want to go in there and start screaming at this guy.
That's
you
fair.
Dumb motherfuckers. Why the fuck did you forget about me? Like, they didn't do it on purpose.
Yeah, it happens.
Shit happens.
It does.
You know?
I get that.
And that's where, like, I think this is, I have to find the right way to say this, but, like, corporations and the owners of all these huge corporations have done such a good job because they can make all these policies, and then there's these, like, mid-level people that have to enforce all these policies that can get yelled at that have no fucking say in any of it.
Mm-hmm.
And they pay them enough above where the shit-level employees that don't give a fuck live.
Yeah.
To where they're like, oh yeah, this is what I want to be. I want to be the manager so I can make 50 grand a year as opposed to the 30 that I'm making.
Mm-hmm. Enough to support myself and do things that I want to do on the weekends.
And
yeah.
I'll be fine getting yelled at. I ain't getting yelled at for no 30 grand. Like, I'll tell somebody to fuck off and punch somebody in the drive-thru for
That's how
30
you can
grand.
fuck yourself.
But for 50 grand, I'll sit there and let somebody yell at me.
Well,
Who are these people that want to go in and fucking scream at these people? Like, the companies have done enough to where they're not getting fucking screamed at. Like, you're not yelling at anybody who fucking can make a difference at McDonald's by telling them they forgot your order. You're not helping anything. You're not making yourself feel better. Like, do you feel better after you fucking scream at the top of your lungs at somebody?
God, I hope not.
They don't feel better. You maybe ruin somebody's fucking day. And, like, I can't comprehend in my brain what makes you feel that you're important enough to fucking scream at the top of the lungs at somebody for fucking nothing. Or over your food not getting there right. Or it just doesn't comprehend to me. I see all these Karen videos out there of people sticking their fucking mind in somebody else's business, and I just don't fucking understand it anymore.
So let me put something out there for you, right? You're like, I won't get yelled at for 30 grand, but I'll get yelled at for 50 grand.
Yep.
I got yelled at for 22.
When you joined the military?
Yeah.
No. That's a different yelled at though.
It is.
That was them making you a better person.
It did work. Yes, I'd say.
Like,
I loved it.
That was them making you a better person.
Plus, they fed me.
McDonald's. Yeah.
They gave me a place to sleep. They gave me health care. Whatever.
Yeah, that's a much different story.
It's still just funny. It's like, fuck.
Well, but you figure, I mean, when I was a kid, minimum wage was like $7 an hour. You figure $7 an hour at 40 hours a week for 52 weeks a year, that's like $15,000 a year.
It's true. Things were cheaper, but it's true. Also, that was in the 1900s, right?
Yeah.
Oh, got it.
Late 90s.
When I was in college, I had what was considered a good job because I was making $14 an hour. like while going to college, that was like it was enough to pay all my bills and for me to pay like to do stuff.
Was that a full or a part-time job?
It was a full-time job.
Okay.
So, but even back then, it was things were a little tight, but like it worked. Like it was.
Well, it's probably an entry-level job too, wasn't it?
Oh God, yeah, it was working at a hair salon.
What the fuck did you do at a hair salon?
I was a receptionist.
That makes sense.
Thank you for calling, K. Charles Stone Oak. How can I help you?
I hope they made you fucking sweep up all the pubic hair that
There was,
they
dude,
cut off.
bags and bags of hair. But I will say, hot women coming in,
hair.
you throw it in the garbage.
So there's just a spot in the landfill that's full of fucking hair.
Oh yeah, human hair. So benefits, right? The pay was really good for the time. Hot women, 24/7, just rolling through. A con is everyone thought I was gay for a little bit, which I get. I'm a dude working at a hair salon. A stigma, I totally understand. Getting my hair shampooed. You've ever had like a scalp massage or someone scratch your head? Multiply that by like 50. Just, and the job wasn't fucking hard. Some lady would come in yelling at like the other receptionist, and I'd walk out from the back, dick in my hand, being like, "Hey, what's going on?" And it's just like backpedaling the whole way through.
Really, that's usually the opposite effect of what I usually had.
I know. It's, I guess, just what they weren't expecting for me to be a guy and being like, "How can I help? Like, what's going on? Let's fix this together." And it just calmed them down immediately. It was super weird.
I always ran into the issue, like, when I was working at a jewelry store, I was the assistant manager, and the manager was a female. And people would fucking lay into me. And I would say the exact same fucking thing. And she would walk up and she'd be like, "Oh, how can I help you?" And then she would say word for word what I just said. Because we were a big corporate company that said the same fucking thing. She would say word for word what I would just said. And they'd be like, "Oh, okay, thanks for your help." I'm like, fuck you. You wanted to fight me 3 minutes ago.
But was it a dude yelling or was it a woman yelling?
Oh, it was always a dude.
Well, that's the difference. I only ever dealt with women.
Yeah.
Or like the occasional dude that would come in and he would beeline it right to me. Like, help me.
There was one guy, and he fucking screamed at me.
Mm-hmm.
And the manager wasn't there. I was the only one working. There was another person. And he fucking screamed at me for 10 minutes about getting my house in order. I finally put all my shit down, and I'm like, my house is in order. This is where your shit is. If you can go get the receipts from your credit card company that we didn't cover it, go bring them to me and we'll take care of it. Never saw that guy again.
Duh.
He was accusing me that we already charged him for something.
Just trying to, yeah.
He was trying to scam us.
Yeah, of course. Get the fuck out of here. You just gotta have that mentality too. Just like, all right.
I tell you what, that will be a good skill set that I have in the apocalypse, though. Fucking the bartering and...
Oh, yeah.
Barter with people.
Yeah.
I'll fucking own people.
So before we run on time, because we're at an hour 15 right now.
Hour 8, but okay.
That was from when I joined. We got to do the segment where I ask you for life advice for my relationship, you know?
Yes.
So, as you know, I had a great weekend with my girlfriend and my family. It was amazing. And we recently talked about splitting holidays and stuff. But the bigger issue that I've run into a lot is that her family wants to, because we only see each other on the weekends, her family wants to spend time with me on the weekend, and my family wants to spend time with her on the weekend. Like, how is the best way to split that up without just not being able to spend time together alone?
I mean, it's just, it's going to be give and take. I mean, you've got to... It's funny that you say it like that, because honestly what I think as important, it's super important to keep your relationships and your family and her family involved in things. The most important thing that you guys actually need to keep in mind is each other.
Mm-hmm.
Because at some point, your family is going to be you too. And at least I'm guessing that that's the plan.
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah. I can't say what the exact plan is on
I know what the plan
recording.
is.
Yeah. I'm in love. Like, it's gross.
Yes. So it is. It's terrible. It's a horrible fucking curse that all of us men probably go through at most point.
Oh, yeah.
But your number one priority needs to be her.
Okay. Which I think I'm doing right with the current situation, you know.
And and when I say her, I mean, it can't be focused around your family. It can't be focused around her family. It can't be focused around any of that. The focus needs to be you two. Because just as much as you love your parents, as much as she loves her parents, you two are creating your family. And that's one mistake that I've probably made in my relationship in life is with having kids, I've made it more about the family as opposed to my relationship with just my wife. And I think a lot of people do this, and maybe not. But for me, family was always, like, having children was always a big part of my life. And so I started to neglect some of the me and her and got it more of the us. And the me and her is super important. Like, she just started a new job, and I sent her flowers. And
that's awesome.
But here's the thing that made the difference. Because obviously she's going to love flowers no matter what.
Yeah.
When I sent her the flowers, I used to send things, and it would be from Matt and the kids. Or I'd sign the kid's name on it. When I sent these flowers, I did not send them the flowers from Matt and the kids. The flowers were from Matt. And she actually specifically made a comment when she got home. She was like, I really appreciate that you just sent them from you. Because you get so caught up in your family and my family and all this other stuff, and you don't realize that it's just... It needs to be, like, the center of it needs to be you two. Which I'm sure it's like that for your parents. The center of it is them.
Yep.
They've both got parents.
Mm-hmm.
They've now got kids. But the center of their world, and I think that's a tough thing for a lot of people to grasp, is you're not the center of attention for everything. But your significant other can be the center of attention for you.
Okay. That is fucking good ass advice. I think I might. We're gonna have to. That was awesome.
And it's a really important thing to think about. And I'm not saying, like, neglect your family. Spend time with your family.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Enjoy being with your parents as much as you can. You know, take time. Spend, and, like, if I was to break it up and be like, hey, all right, I've got a month, and I'm gonna take one Friday for your family. I'm gonna take the next Friday for my family. But then I'm gonna take 2 Fridays and 4 Saturdays, and those are going to be our days. And we're going to go do our stuff.
Okay.
Because life is too short for you to make other people happy.
Okay. I think I'm going to hold on to that for a while. Actually, that's really good advice. Honestly, god damn. Because I've been prioritizing her family, thinking that it's like I'm prioritizing her, and now you just kind of open my eyes to being like, no, they're two separate entities.
They are. And she might not see it the same way, but she will at some point.
She will, yep.
Because you guys are going to fight about families. There's going to be things that her parents are going to do that are going to piss you off. There's things that your parents are going to do that are going to piss her off. And you're going to argue about families. And that's okay.
Yeah.
Like, that's been a really tough thing for me to grasp, is, like, the fighting while being okay with each other. I'll be honest, I'm not a confrontational person.
That makes sense.
I think you know that about me.
I'm a confrontational person, and I think you know that about me.
I'm not a confrontational person. Like I'm not gonna be the person in a fight that takes the first swing.
Matt, you don't have to.
But I also get fueled. If you hit me in the face, I don't go down very easily. But and if I do, I get back up real quick, and I'm not happy about it.
I told you that life hack to starting a fight, right? So you look like the good guy?
No.
You step on their toes?
No.
You get up in their face. I've done this, I don't even know how many times at bars and stuff. People are like, because in my generation, people record, but usually they're recording here. So, you're face to face, you're getting real close to each other, you're talking shit, and you just step on their toes, like as much as you can. You like grind it in, right? And their instant reaction is you're causing them physical pain. You're right in front of them. They push you. So for everyone else's objective, all they see is here, and they just see them push you. And so now you have the green light to continue the fight.
Okay, that's fucking genius.
I've been doing that for years. I got it from a bouncer at one of the bars I used to work at.
See, I usually try not to fight anybody. My goal is always not to fight people.
I had my time.
So,
but I am my father's son. But it works. It is what it is. I don't do it anymore. I don't fight anymore. It's not worth it. Kids don't fight. It's not worth it.
It's really not.
Unless someone's getting.
Actually, no.
There's sometimes it's worth it.
I'm going to take that back. I think we should allow young kids to fight. Like, I think you should have free game to fight until probably high school.
That's fair. Can't do any real serious damage.
You're not really hurting anybody, but you're going to learn a lot.
Mm-hmm. And you're going to get humbled.
You're going to get humbled. Because if you're talking shit to somebody and they fucking put one right in your mouth, like, it's a humbling experience real quick.
It is.
And there's been plenty of times, don't get me wrong, I should have been punched in the face many times by people. And there's probably plenty of people that I should have punched in the face that didn't, because for me personally, I was always scared of the repercussions. Like, we had numerous people that came in and they're like, you can't fight anybody, otherwise your parents are going to get sued. Well, I knew my parents didn't have any fucking money.
Didn't matter.
So, no. Like, so I'm like, well, we can't get sued because then we're not even going to be able to eat. We don't have any money the way it is. So if you take away the little money we do have, like, we're fucked.
It's fair.
So I put up with a lot of shit because I'm like, I can't fight anybody. I'm going to get sued. And
if only you knew about stepping on toes.
If only I knew about stepping on toes. My life would be so much better. So, now it's time for my old man question of the week.
Yes.
What is the deal with all the kids and pulling pranks and videotaping them?
Internet fame. Easy answer. Gets views. It's a whole thing. I mean, we pulled pranks as kids, right? I'm sure you did. Crank calls, whatever, back in the day. It's a funny thing, but if you have someone that records it and you get a ton of views, you have this accomplishment, you have people egging you on, you have all this status. It's just, and I hated it. I never pulled pranks after I turned 11. Like,
see, and I'm not a big prank person either, so a lot of it doesn't make sense to me. Like, I don't know. I just don't get it. Like,
there's
like,
like,
if they were like super funny, but most of them really aren't.
They're not. They're bad. There's like guys that go into just like Walmart or Lowe's or stores and they're just doing stupid shit. And it's just like, come on. I'm just trying to get some fucking cheese.
Yeah. They're just fucking with normal people trying to fucking go about their day. Like, you know what I want to see a prank video that I want to see?
What?
Like, I prank somebody and then that person kicks the fuck out of them.
That's what I want. I'm sure it's happened.
I want to see.
I'm sure it's happened a bunch.
Yeah. Those are the videos that I want to see. You want to get views? Show you fucking with somebody and then show them beating your ass.
Beating the fuck
I
out
will
of
watch
you.
that video 5 times and send it to everybody I fucking know.
Yep. I've never liked it. It's stupid. I think that's the generation after me, actually. That's more of Egg's generation that really got into that, because mine didn't. But it's just, I don't like it. If someone pranks me, I'll be like, oh, this is funny, and I'll walk away. But if they just like keep antagonizing, then it's just, well, time to fight, I guess. Let me step on your toes.
I mean, and I don't mind like little pranks. Like my kids put water on top of the door at least once a month. And I don't mind little stuff like that, but like they also know me. Like pranking somebody you don't know, I just find that like
Yeah, and there's a difference between like a harmless prank and like one that it's like, oh, this is a bit much. Like
yeah,
at my office, I like to, if someone has a water bottle, I like to just hit it, right? And I know them.
yeah. I mean, yeah, that's fine.
But one thing I always do before I do that is I tighten the lid on the water bottle. You'll see me physically tighten the lid, and then I'll smack the shit out of the water bottle, and then I'll go get the water bottle. You know.
Unless you don't like them, and then you're like, "Fuck you, go get your water bottle."
Yeah, I guess that's fair.
I mean, that's what I do, but that's totally fine.
There's a code. I don't know. There's politeness. Don't be a dick.
Yeah.
Be a little bit of a dick, but don't be a big dick.
A little bit, but yeah. I mean, I don't know. Kind of goes back to the whole Karen thing. Like, don't fucking yell at people.
Don't yell at people at all.
You're not better. You're not better than anybody.
Literally, no one is better than anybody else.
Even if you're the fucking Queen of England.
Except...
We're for 80 years.
Except if you're Tony Hawk, then, sir, your majesty, you're better than everybody.
At skateboarding.
At being a human being. Tony, I'd like to get you on for this podcast.
Nope. The only person that's better than everybody else is Elon Musk.
Fuck Elon.
He's saving the world.
You know,
one Tesla at a time.
I will say Elon fucks, though. You know how many kids that motherfucker has?
He's got like 6.
He's got more than that, 8. I think. He's got like a lot.
Got like 8.
Yeah, he's a breeder.
He should be. He's a fucking genius.
But at what point is the genius level because he has Asperger's, right? Or he's autistic?
Yeah, I think a little bit of both, but...
Asperger's is now considered a classification of autism, so it's just...
Okay.
It all blankets together now.
I don't care what he is. He's fucking awesome.
Oh, he's a genius.
He is a fucking real life Tony Stark.
I was about to say the same thing.
That's what he is. He's an amazing individual, and he's not a fucking douche about it either.
No,
like, he is doing things to help everybody else. He is actually using his money to be good to people.
He's doing it now.
Right now, yeah. Well, I can't speak about what his future plans are.
No, I'm talking about the past. But he took his time to build up this fortune. You know, I'm sure he did some stuff. But now that he's comfortable, his family's comfortable, he's a real man, right? He took care of what he needed to take care of. He's like, okay, now I can, give things out.
I mean, he's created, like, how many people do you know that are, like, the CEO of Fortune 500 companies? He runs Tesla. He runs Starlink.
I do want a Starlink.
He built a fucking flamethrower. For what reason, nobody knows.
I mean, if I was as smart as he was, I'd build a flamethrower.
Exactly. Because he's like, you know what? People need a flamethrower.
Fuck yeah, I do. What was that, World War II when they came out?
Elon Musk is my hero. Like,
George Strait's my hero, but we'll get there someday.
All right. I mean, one guy sang songs, one guy created electric cars and gave internet to people in rural areas.
I mean,
you're right.
King George, calm down there.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, we're at 1 hour and 23 minutes, so we're about 20 minutes over of what we really try to go to. So, thank you all so much for listening in. We appreciate your time. Hopefully you got some entertainment.
Something out of it. And I think Matt's conversation about the relationship was the pinnacle of this conversation today. It was amazing.
Well, hopefully you can learn by my fuck-ups. So, I hope you all have a great rest of your week, and we will catch you again next Thursday, as always, with Sammies and Beer, with your host, Matt.
And Thomas, we did not talk about our sandwich of the week.
We did not.
Too bad, I've got one on the ready. We're good to go. I went to a small eatery by my house. It's a meat market. And they did the absolute best French dip I've ever tasted in my entire life. The au jus was perfect. Cheese was perfect. So, French dip is
tough to beat.
French dip sandwich of the week today, ladies and
All
gentlemen.
right. French dip of the week. Thank you, everybody. Have a great rest of your week, and we will see you next week.
Good night.
Toodles.